Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about the three limiting beliefs that plague humanity. And this was taught to me by my teacher, Marisa Peer. She's the one who created Rapid Transformational Therapy, and I studied with her back in 2017. And so that is what I'm going to talk about today. And before I start, one of the things I wanted to mention was that at the end of my last video, I talked a little bit about when I was reviewing my video and editing it. I noticed that I wasn't looking at the camera. So I started looking at the camera, and then I went to edit that video and realized that my eyes actually look more open if I don't look at the camera. So I thought that was really interesting because I'm trying to take you along on my journey of what it's like to do YouTube videos when you don't know what you're doing. And I just really want to encourage people to do things that are uncomfortable because that's what I'm doing. And I think that a lot of times we shut off our gifts because we're afraid to not be good at them. And so I think the more of us that can be willing to flub up and not be perfect at things and be willing to be out in the world, figuring it out, the better for everybody. So I want to be an example of that. So I would like to share my journey, and that's why I do that. So anyway, I thought that it would be better if I looked at the camera, but I noticed that my eyes look bigger if I don't. So there you go. There's a lesson that I learned. So back to the three limiting beliefs that plague the majority of people. And usually it's one of these that is more prevalent for a person, but for me, there's a little bit of all of these in me. So just take in each one of these and see, is that something that I struggle with? That belief? Was that a subconscious belief that I think I deal with often? Because as we discover that we have these beliefs or these programs running in our background, and we begin to realize that they're running there and that we can change them, then we start to take our power back and we start to become more authentic in who we are. And I think that is really the goal. I know it is for me. I just want to live as authentically as I possibly can because I know that every single person has such wonderful things to offer. And the more authentic we can all be and the more real we can all be, then the more rich our lives are going to get. Okay, so the first belief is the core belief that Marisa talks about all the time, and that is, I am not enough. Marisa wrote a book. This is kind of the foundation of everything that she teaches called I Am Enough. And it comes from this premise, obviously, that all of us believe that we're not enough. So I'm not good enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not man enough. I'm not woman enough. I'm not motivated enough. I'm not disciplined enough. I'm not, it just goes on and on and on. I'm not a good mom. I'm not enough as a mom. I'm not enough as a wife. I'm not enough as a husband. I'm not enough as an employee. I'm not enough as a student. We just are all plagued by these beliefs inside of us that we're not enough. And the problem is that we come in with these beliefs. Well, actually, we don't necessarily come in with these beliefs, but we come into a world full of these beliefs. And before long, we take them on. And we actually, as babies, if we come in a relatively healthy environment, we know we're enough. We know we're enough, and we are just full of ourselves. And then as we get older, we begin to take on more of what's going on in the world, and those little knowings about ourselves, little by little, get taken away from us and the light goes out of our eyes and we just become kind of part of the fabric of what we are all living right now, which is I'm not enough. That's the fabric, I believe, of part of what we're all living. So that's the first limiting belief. The second one is what I want isn't available to me. So the love I want isn't available to me. The abundance that I want isn't available to me. The life I want isn't available to me. The time I want isn't available to me. The success I want isn't available to me. The rest that I want isn't available to me. The peace that I want isn't available to me. The health that I want. And it's all based on something called learned helplessness, which is that we are taught through all of the things that come into our world, from what we learn from our families to what we learn through media, to what we learn in school, to what we learn in the medical world, to what we learn in the government, is that we are not enough and what we want is not available. It's just, deal with what you have. That's all you get. You're not powerful enough to change it. And so the majority of us just settle. We settle and we finally believe this learned helplessness. And even though we pretend that we don't, there's a part of us that we try to change things and we find over and over and over we have these repeating patterns and we can't seem to change anything. So we just eventually feel helpless, powerless, hopeless, and really believe that what we want isn't available to us. And then the third limiting belief is that I'm different and I don't belong, or I can't connect to others. And that is a very, very painful belief because our ancestors were very tribal. And so there is part of our innate need for others, for community, for being part of the collective. And it's a real survival instinct within us that we need to connect, that we need to be part of something bigger, that we need for people to like us and for us to feel like we are accepted, loved, cared about, that we fit in. And many of us don't feel that way. And so we go around in life feeling so wounded and scared and unlikable, unlovable, unworthy, invisible, things like that. And we may have felt these in our families. It kind of all weaves together with, if you don't feel like you're enough, then why would people like you? Why would you fit in? Why would people want to be your friend? Why would people want to be with you? And so these are core beliefs that make us feel really a lot of pain inside. And the reason why this is really important is because when we start to discover that these are software programs that run within us, and that there is a reason why we feel this way, that there is a whole world of marketing out there that makes money from us feeling this way, keeps us buying things because we feel this way, keeps us always feeling like we have to do something, that we can't just accept ourselves. We can't just feel peace, calm, relaxation, and love because we're just always unsettled. We're always striving to be more, to cover up these feelings inside of us. And we use all kinds of addictions and things to escape from these feelings within us, these subconscious beliefs. But if we start to learn to look at these beliefs and really ask ourselves, is this really true? Where does this all come from? And we start to unravel those mysteries. We start to feel the feelings that underlie them, and we start to heal ourselves. then all of a sudden we become these confident, strong, amazing people, and we can begin to live more authentically. And we can start to love ourselves more and love other people more. And we can start to change the fabric of our society because our society is based on unloving people that we don't love ourselves. And so, how can we love other people? We don't accept ourselves. So, how can we accept other people? And so often we attack, we judge, we do all kinds of things out of our own emptiness. And then the world just stays very broken. One of my favorite sayings is hurt people hurt people. And I know in all of the work that I've ever done with people who are trying to heal that that is 100% the truth. We're all hurting. We all hurt because none of us have it perfect. None of us feel 100% enough. None of us feel like what what we want is available to us 100%, and none of us feel like we belong 100%. We're sometimes walking on eggshells. We're trying to prove our worth. We strive and strive and strive to get enough, and we just consume and consume and consume, and it's never ever enough. We never feel satisfied. And that's the kind of world that we live in, especially in the Western world. Maybe not all over the globe. I can only speak for myself living in the United States. I see that all around me. And I know there are people who don't live that way, but the majority of people that I see and that I work with feel that way. And so that's the people that I want to send this message to, and just to start helping people to understand that that's going on within us, and that this can all be healed, and that we can feel a completely different way, that we can realign with who we are, that we can start to feel like we're enough, that we can really believe that what we want is available to us, and that we can feel a sense of belonging and fitting in. And as we begin to really feel that, not just pretend, not just give it lip service, but feel it in our hearts, then the whole world begins to change, and especially our own world. So that was my message for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you here again soon. Bye.